70. So, with the 50% fuel load, they're not going to be able to make it to that 35 point as the pace car pulls in, Brandon. And we're going to get this thing kicked off, man, as we got some playoff contenders all around. It is about to get spicy. Here is the green flag. We're going freaky fast here. Freaky fast broadcasting down to turn 1. Looks like Sheffield a little bit slow on the restart. That's going to Travis Everett get the lead here. And I'll tell you what, now it's on, guys, because this track right here for the first couple laps is pretty racy.
Zach, I just want to point out that, like I mentioned, we talked to GT after he won the last race in the ARCA series. The 3 guys that he mentioned right now are the 3 guys leading that bottom lane at the front.
Hey, he's a smart man. Look, there he is too. There, sliding up into that 5th position. GT knows his racing, that's for sure. And I wouldn't put it past him to call one of these guys winning this race, but I wouldn't put it past him to win this race either. So he might have been downplaying himself a little bit. It's Nolan Potter, though, right now. He says, guys, I'm here to fight too. And Nolan Potter, you got to remember, he came in here 1 point to the good. So Nolan Potter putting himself in a good position. Look, he's already going to try to take this lead here from Travis Everett. And you're going to see this lead change hands back and forth as, really the draft is so important here at Kentucky. And staying with other cars is really, really important, Brandon.
Yeah, for the first couple laps, especially in 1 and 2, you can really lay it wide open here and carry a lot of speed down to 3 and 4. And even with this new configuration, the new track surface that they're running at Kentucky, the same as the last one where turns 3 and 4, for some reason, it's so much tighter than 1 and 2. You really have to lift, even starting out the run, 2 laps in, you're really having to get off the throttle.
You definitely are. And, this is that new configuration, like you were saying, of Kentucky the Kentucky Speedway. And, that's definitely something they changed. They changed the banking a little bit. 1 and 2 made it a little bit higher banked. They also made it a little less wide of the corner. But 3 and 4 is pretty much exactly the same as what we had before. And it is super flat and a very, very tough corner to get around. And it makes it a weird track with the different sides of 1 and 2 compared to 3 and 4.
Yeah, because a lot of tracks, if Pocono comes to mind, you have to sacrifice in one corner to really gain in another, and everybody's pretty much going to be able to run the exact same in 1 and 2. The guys that have really figured out where the good balance is and how far you can push it into 3, and figure out the best place to get back to the throttle to get the car to rotate. Those are the guys you're going to find consistently at the front, not really fading away, especially once these tires start to even out.
Definitely. So the tires start to even out, and it gets so tough to pass. You see right now these guys are just trading the lead back and forth. Curtis Preston out to the lead. Travis Everett trying to follow him with Nolan Potter. There's GT also. It's back and forth here, guys, and a lot of slide job racing guys up here fighting with the Stealth Motorsports guys.
And as you can see, coming to lap number 7, and the field is still pretty well packed together. Nobody's really able to break away too much. Curtis Preston with a little bit of a lead, but definitely not pulling away from these guys. It's almost nose to tail for second on back to maybe 10th position.
And Curtis Preston doing a good job to get a little gap here. But, yeah, really that reconfiguration, Brandon, came here in 2016 with that repave. And really what was changed, turns 1 and 2 was the biggest change, which, like I was saying, it was narrowed from 72 feet to 56 feet. So lost a lot of ground as they widened that apron on the bottom. They also increased the banking from just 14 degrees to 17 degrees. So that's a good increase in banking there. That's 3 degrees, and then 3 and 4 remained exactly the same at 14 degrees and brushed the same width across the track. So they kind of did that little Darlington thing to it, to like in Texas, kind of how Texas did their reconfiguration, where it's kind of seeing that now with NASCAR tracks. They're saying, we want 2 different distinct corners.
It really opens up the guys that, not necessarily in these fixed setups, but more so on the actual NASCAR side of things. For crew chiefs to really have a bigger role in setting up the car for 2 distinct corners and trying to find that perfect balance. It opens up the competition a lot. And then, on the iRacing side of things, it really brings out the guys that are that all-around type of driver that can figure out how to run, like we talked about in the last race. Corners that they look the same, but they feel completely different.
Exactly. It's true there is, look at that, Nolan Potter, GT battle. Nolan's going to try to take the 3rd position away. Michael Sheffield holding off Nathan Campbell there for the 6th position. As Schrittenthal has moved up now into that top 5 with that 2 truck or 2 car. Sorry about that. Man, it's really close. You got so many playoff guys. I mean, you got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Then the next playoff driver is Matthew Bush there in 10th. And our final playoff driver there is Randy Cuomo in the 15th position. So Randy Cuomo definitely need to make up some ground.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much about Matthew Rush. He was quickest in practice, so he's definitely got the speed. Not necessarily that great of a qualifying effort, which is going to hurt a little bit, but he's definitely going to be able to make up that time just on pure speed alone. Just hopefully he can stay out of trouble. As we've seen, you can be fast, but if you get put back in the field, you can get caught up in something in a hurry and end your night pretty early.
Can end your night very quickly here at the Kentucky Motor Speedway. And it can end very, very quickly. Look back here, Andrew Little, who just came up a little bit short last time to make these playoffs right now. And Andrew Little, they're running in that 13th position. But what battles we got going all around this racetrack. Got a lot of fans out there viewing tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in here to the penultimate round here at the RSR Cup Series. It's one heck of a show, and thank you all very much for tuning in. If you can, out there, put who you think's going to win this race and who do you got to win the championship of our final 8. That'd be pretty cool to see who everybody's rooting for and pulling for here tonight out there in the chat. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we got a lot of y'all already putting your favorite drivers out in their chat. So thank you.
Yeah, we've got some Marc-Andre Thibodeau's in the 27, GT in the 14, Michael Preston for Curtis Preston. I assume that's a brother or father. Pretty cool to see you guys out there rooting on your family members as well.
That is family sport, man. Racing is a family tradition here, and we're glad to have you all here in the Freaky Fast family. As look, we got the 59 now, Travis Everett out there. Getting some love. So yeah, there Travis Everett running in 2nd position right now, looking strong. Travis has always looked strong, you know, up there leading the points for a lot of these playoffs, right in the top 3 for most of them. So he'll be a tough one to beat if he can make it to Phoenix here tonight. It's looking good. As we even got some Michael Sheffield love out there. We also got the 12 of Craig A. Burns. And man, fan favorite Craig Burns. Yes, that's what he says. Every week we hear it. You know, Craig Burns out there, he's leading 17th in points, guys. We can't forget about that. That's also a battle there, too, with Daniel Gonzalez, as I think Craig has got about a 100-point gap almost there. So he's looking pretty good going into these final 2 races to lock up that 17th position in points and get that $100 prize there, as there is Craig A. Burns there, running pretty strong here so far. And wouldn't put it past him to be up there at some point in this race right now, as he's running that 17th position, started from 20th.
Well, Zach, I want to point out, it looks like the 17 of Kevin Zabladil and the 75 of Mike Martino both decided to pit. Mike Martino with a slightly longer stop, maybe fixing some damage. But Kevin with only a 6.5 second pit stop, maybe just trying to fill up some fuel and maybe gap these guys when they come into pit to make it to the end of the stage.
That is a very true statement there, Brandon. You know, you could just come down, get a quick splash there for that 17. He is 1 lap down now, a little bit ahead of the leaders, but he could possibly pull a nice little stage position here just by doing that strat. I mean, 35 laps on the tires is not too bad here at Kentucky, especially when the tires start to even out. Which we say every single week is, look, there comes Michael Sheffield. He's possibly playing this strategy too, because remember, Sheffield needs to get him some good stage points here tonight to be able to get himself up into that top 4. Started off well with that pole position, but he needs to continue that trend. We'll have to see what he does here as they come down pit road. And we also got more 29s out there for Curtis Preston. Looks like Logan Preston out there in the chat. So thank you guys for interacting with us here and letting us know who your favorites are out there on the racetrack. And I'm sure a lot of y'all are impressed with how your family members are doing out here on this very tough racetrack.
Well, Zach, going back to Michael Sheffield on the 5 coming down pit road, this is a very big risk, big reward type of strategy here. Because winning, if he can come out and win this stage, that's 10 extra bonus points. That takes a lot of weight off of his shoulders in securing a final transfer position to that championship race. But it could go very, very wrong. and you could stand to lose a lot in the long run. Potentially, falling back and losing a lot of positions at the end of the race just to maybe win one stage.
Yeah, it's interesting. He took 4 tires. Um,
Yikes!
I'm kind of questioning that call just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Just due to the fact that we only have 3 sets of tires for tonight. Well, now he only has 2 technically out there as he's already on his second set. As Curtis Preston, he almost grazed the wall there, leading this race with Travis Everett not too far behind. So we'll have to see how it shakes out for Sheffield. But I think, like you said, if you can get 2 stage wins and get 20 bonus points, while some of the other guys maybe lose a couple points to you, then you can possibly make up that ground that you need and have a pretty good shot going into that final stage.
Yeah, that just kind of solidifies my theory that this is all about stage points for him, to just try to gain as many points as possible and not worry about necessarily having to just outright beat somebody on track position to advance. Especially taking tires this early, that just shows he's kind of all in with this strategy. He's not worried about the end of the race and his race finish. If he can get good stage points, he can afford to give up a couple positions at the end of the race and not worry about winning it.
We're riding on board here with Travis Everett. He's about, really only a couple tenths ahead of here. GT, Nolan, we got Nathan Camp not too far behind there, but Curtis Preston, we heard GT say about his teammates really being strong here tonight, and that's really what we're seeing so far.
Well, looking at it, this time by, Travis Everett a little bit quicker than Curtis Preston in first position, but GT and Curtis almost mirroring lap times, and even Nolan Potter in the 34 behind them, almost identical lap times. So the top 4 are pretty much mirroring each other at this point.
Mirroring each other, that's definitely what you see a lot of times when these tires start to even out, especially a track like this. This track is very unique in the fact that 1 and 2 is a lot of throttle time, while 3 and 4, not a lot of throttle time. Is actually, we got a playoff battle back here for 6th and 7th. Looks like Matthew Rush making the pass on Zach Schrittenthal in that 11. It looks like he's going to bring Bob Fitzpatrick along with him. So good stuff from Matthew Rush there to move himself up from Mooresville, North Carolina, up here. And he's going to have a good shot possibly at this thing when we come down to the end of here for the playoffs. But Zach Schrittenthal looking like he's struggling a little bit on the long run there in that 2 as he slid back now past Dustin Stallings to that 9th position. So not something Zach Schrittenthal needs to do is slide back too many positions. He needs to get those bonus points in these stages because it's going to be very critical to how it all shakes out here at the end.
Oh, it absolutely will, as we've got Nolan Potter in the 34 decided to come into pit this time by. It seems as though, Zach is just kind of having a hard time maybe figuring out exactly where to run in 3 and 4. Maybe he decided to, push the car a little bit harder, whereas some of these guys decided to back off knowing how bad the tire wear was going to be. And it's definitely showing right now as he's a bit off the pace by almost 2 to 3 tenths based on the guys ahead of him.
Yeah, and we just seen Craig A. Burns there pass Harold Watkins for that 13th position. But now we're looking at David Hall battle here with Matt Upbrook. These guys are going at it up here, and it's very close between all these drivers. And Kentucky just seem like you never can get away from your competition. As even there behind them with Chad Biesinger there, you can see the car cutting through there. That's the 5 of Michael Sheffield as he's already hit his pit stop. And now leaders are pitting. Curtis Preston onto pit road. Travis Everett looks like GT's going to stay out here, lead himself a lap, get those critical bonus points that you need.
Yeah, the undercut is a little bit over a second and a half, it looks like right now. Only 28 laps into this thing. Interesting to see now exactly who decides to take tires and who doesn't. Taking tires here really sets yourself up for a good stage finish. But if you've got outright speed, like Travis Everett, Curtis Preston, GT, and Michael Sheffield, we already know Michael Sheffield's strategy by the looks of everything that he's doing. But those guys can afford to not take tires here and worry about the win. If they win, they're automatically moved into the next round. So those guys don't necessarily have to worry about stage points. I mean, it's not going to hurt them to get it because a lot of things can happen. But if you win, I mean, you don't have to worry about points at that point.
Very true. You win this race, you're into the next one. That's for sure, man. And that's always a way to solidify your position here on the racetrack. As GT continues to stay out here in the 14 as we look on board here from the sky with Bob Fitzpatrick there. Um, and they're running in I believe he's in the second position. Sorry about that. I could not get that out my my mouth for some reason, so it just wouldn't come out. But he's right here, still yet to pit. So is Brock Potter, Andrew Little, Craig Burns. So Craig Burns is now caught up to the pack ahead of him. Looks like he'll be coming down pit road behind Andrew Little and Brock Potter there. So third, fourth, fifth, and second coming down with GT also. So everybody coming down here on lap 30. I think 30 is about what we're going to see here tonight, Brandon. The most you can do.
Yeah, it's looking like it. The last bit of stragglers deciding to come in, is except for the 6 of Richard Gonzalez, decides to stay out and inherit the lead for the moment. The backpack that pit a little bit earlier still have not passed the second group to come in. Curtis Preston still a little bit behind them. Should be gapping them pretty soon, but I imagine Richard Gonzalez is going to be coming in this time by, and he might be out of fuel. He looks really, really slow.
Yeah, I think Richard is kind of just coasting her back here now to get that thing back to pit road, and that shows you right there. So 31 at the most for sure.
Well, this sets up for an even shorter stint for the second stage. They're not nearly going to be able to make it as far unless everybody decides to come in and top off during the stage caution.
There it is as it cycles through now after our pits. Curtis Preston back in the lead, followed by Travis Everett GT. They're in the third position. Michael Sheffield fourth, Nolan Potter fifth, Nathan Campbell sixth, Dustin Stone seventh, Kevin Ruff eighth, Zach Schrittenthal ninth, and Bob Fitzpatrick 10th. So we got Matthew Rush out of the stage points, and so in with Randy Cornwell, two of our playoff contenders there. We're going to be looking to get themselves up into the top 10. And that just shows you how close this field is, Brandon. You got literally, of the 8 drivers, 6 of them were up here in the top 10. So, and I'm pretty sure Matthew Rush and Mate will possibly get himself up into that top 10 here at some point.
Yeah, very scary moment for Zach Schrittenthal on the 2. I guess he senses the urgency getting close to the end of this stage, trying to get as many positions as he can for those stage points. Almost got into Kevin Ruff going into 2 a couple laps ago, and that could have been very disastrous for him, just cracking into the top 10.
Yeah, now he's up to that 6th position, and Schrittenthal is on brand new tires. He's running 29.88. Looks like Potter maybe took tires too, because he's on a 30.54. As GT, Curtis, and Travis, all these guys decide not to. And Sheffield, with that early pit stop, I thought he would come out with the lead, by taking those tires. He's right now third, but he is catching the leaders about 3/10 a lap here on them tires. But the thing is, he's already used the setup, but he will be able to get them third place bonus points here, as we are on the Sheffield Graphics white flag for stage number 1. And this time around, it should be the ender here. And it looks like Curtis Preston might be able to pull off this victory. Ryan Ezel is going to unlap himself right at the right time to get himself back on that lead lap here before the stage ends. And that is the stage ender right there, man.
Well, based on where Michael Sheffield just finished, he gained 2 points on Zach Schrittenthal. So I believe that makes them... Michael Sheffield is 1 point now, sitting above Zach Schrittenthal in that 4th position. Looks like Matthew Rush is just going to miss out on some valuable points. But Curtis Preston, though, 10 points for the stage win. Man, we're not going to know until it's over. It's so tight with all these stage points, and this is only the first stage.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to take these down here so I can have this little bit of information here for later. Definitely going to be critical, I think, for us guys to know what these guys scored, as they all are going to come down pit road here. I'm sure we'll see some different types of strategies, but as this all shakes out, I believe we'll talk to our stage one winner after he gets his pit stop done here of Curtis Preston, and it should be pretty happy with that how that played out for him there. So, very good job by him.
And make a note that looks like the only two deciding not to pit are the 16 of Matt O'Brook and the 5 of Michael Sheffield.
That's very much so, man. They decided not to pit there. That's a interesting call, and I mean they took their tires. I mean at this point, and now I think Sheffield is on the strategy of he's going to pit pretty early in this stage again, around lap 5.
Yeah, cut it in half. It's a shame to have to take the tires that early. Not quite the result he was looking for the end of this stage, but still pretty good points. A little bit behind now. Interesting to see if he can figure out a way to maybe use that to his advantage and maybe get a lucky caution and find himself ahead again.
Yes, sir. As we will bring down our stage one winner here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway, and that is Curtis Preston and that 29 machine. And here he is, Brandon.
Hey, Curtis, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got your ears on?
Yeah, how you doing tonight, Brandon?
Doing pretty good. Well, Curtis, got that stage one victory, a valuable 10 points. How much weight is that taken off your shoulders for this, round of 8 knockout race before you guys go on to Phoenix?
I don't think any of the points is so close, and then the next stage coming up, there's another 10 on the line you got to race for. So I think the pressure's going to be on until the checkered flag waves.
Well, it's definitely looking like it. That's what we've been talking about the whole broadcast now, just exactly how close this playoff picture's looking. But it's a good way to start out, taking home the first stage, gaining them 10 bonus points. So hopefully you can carry that on and get some good points in the second stage, and maybe find yourself in a position to even win this thing at the end.
Yeah, we started off good. That's definitely a good way to start. 10 points. Old Jim Beam Chevy's pretty fast tonight. Still a lot of racing left to do, though, man. We'll see how it shakes down here.
Well, good luck, bud, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of the next stage.
Guys, thanks.
All right, that was your stage one winner, Curtis Preston in the 29 machine. Looks like he'll be starting in the 5th position here on this next restart. But yeah, I got it all tallied down right now. It looks like we had, of course, Curtis Preston there scoring the 10 bonus points there. Then you had Travis Everett with the 9. Michael Sheffield will get his 8 bonus points. 7 is going to go to Nolan Potter. 6 to Zach Schrittenthal. 5 to GT. Then you'll have, I believe, looks like Matthew Rush scoring 1 point there in the 10th position. So Matthew Rush was able to score that 1 point, while Randy Cornwell, unfortunately, did not get in that top 10 for points here. So Randy Cornwell is going to definitely have to be looking for some different type of strategy, in my opinion, to get him set up for this race.
Yeah, unfortunately, looks like Randy, the big loser in this situation. 1 point's not that much, but considering how close the points are, 1 point can make all the difference. And just doing some rough guesstimation in my head based on this this stage finish, there's still a lot of these guys are only separated by 1 or 2 points. It's still very much in the air.
Now, another thing, Brendan, this is what I kind of formulated in my brain here. Right here, we got on lap 39. So we take this green here. We got to go to 70. From 70 to 39, that's 31 laps. Michael Sheffield came down and topped off. A few guys came and topped off here. I think that he is going to stretch it here. That's why he took that early set of tires. He did not take a set this time. He's going to try to stretch the fuel 31 laps here.
Now, my biggest problem is if you get lapped, it's going to be very hard.
Yep.
And also, if you run out of fuel and have to coast in, if you miss your box, it's all for nothing.
Yep. Taking some risks.
The yellow would kind of negate it and almost put everybody back on the same page.
As the pace cars back in, we're going to get stage 2 here started with Matt Upbrook leading our field. There he goes, taking off in that 16. You got Schrittenthal there in the 2nd position. Travis Everett there in 3rd, as Everett's going to get held up a little bit on the bottom by the 2, and that's going to let Curtis Preston get around the outside in that 29, and I think these guys will have the lead pretty quickly as these guys are on a lot older tires.
Well, looking at that restart, it looked like the 84 of Dustin Stallings, a little bit of a miscue maybe, getting going, and GT had to check out pretty hard not to run into the back of him, as we see GT flying around the outside of Dustin Stallings right now. No damage though, so still pretty clean for GT, still in pretty good shape.
Yeah, that's the key. Keep that nose clean. Got to stay out of trouble tonight. It's like Curtis said, even though he got those 10 points, he can't feel the best about that. I mean, if you think about it, GT got 5 points there. He was 5 points to the good. That gives him 10 points that he was over that cut line now. And with other people gaining, it's getting close. I'm telling you what, it's getting very close. As Travis Everett should be actually the top guy by getting those 9 points, as he was only 1 point behind GT.
Well, we want to talk about close. Matthew Rush, Dustin Stallings again, looking like he's just kind of fading on older tires. Matthew Rush, big moment. One of our playoff drivers just about got into the back of him and maybe got collected in an incident. So these guys are going to have to be careful navigating these cars that are off sequence on their tires. That is absolutely critical. Like you said, you do not want to get caught up in something.
Definitely do not want to get caught up in nothing. That's for sure, my friend. It's going to be very, very tough to not get caught up in nothing. This is such close racing that stuff just happens in the blink of an eye, and you can't really miss it. So everybody's doing a good job of, with the different tire cycles too. That's the thing. You see such big differences of speed, and when you see those big differences of speed, that's when you have a chance to see something bad happen.
Yeah, like you really don't know, if somebody is on older tires in front of you until you get into the corner. That's when it really shows, because when they're all going, down the backstretch, they're running about the same speeds. The speed difference isn't that much, but having to, get out of the gas that much earlier, brake that much earlier for the corner, that's where you really run into a lot of problems. And even further than that, the center speed. Fresh tires, you can roll the center so much better. Like we saw with Matthew Rush, Dustin Stallings, just a little bit quicker on the gas for the 18 and nearly ran the guy over. It happens really quick.
In a blink of an eye, it's all over. That's how racing is, man. This package definitely. As looking at Matthew Rush, he's dropped back a little bit here in that to the 14th position ahead of Kevin Sabella, but I think he did not take tires when he stopped. So I don't think he's took a set of tires yet. Now we look back at Randy Cornwell running in the 17th position, one of our other playoff drivers there. He's definitely going to need. I think Randy Cornwell, we've seen strategy calls by him all throughout the series. We've seen him running, and sometimes he gets it completely right, and then sometimes it's just a little bit off, and it ruins his race. But I tell you what, if there was a strategy race ever, this could be it, Brandon. With only having 3 sets of tires in the pits, if you take one here at stage 1, take another set at stage 2, you got to take a set again. That last set on that last stop to make it to the end of this race. You have no sets of tires. If you can have an extra set and they get a caution with 15 to go or 20 to go, you could drive through this field very easily.
Oh yeah, if you've got a set left, come 15 to go, and there happens to be a caution, you're going to look like Superman compared to everybody else. They're just going to make such a big difference. I like a lot of the strategies these guys are playing, not taking tires early. I think you could almost take one set between the 2 stages. The stages are so short that you're not at much risk of actually falling a lap down, even being that far off the pace. Once the tires even out, you kind of just settle into the gap that you've lost to the leaders on fresh tires. And, once that stage caution comes out, you might, obviously you're going to give up some stage points, but that the tire benefit at the end of this race, being able to have even one, maybe 2 sets over some guys, is going to be a huge difference.
Tires are a huge advantage at a racetrack like this. As you look back at Craig Burns there running in the 12th position, looks like he's trying to get by the 55 at Adam Buzzio, but doesn't look like he'll be able to complete that pass as Adam gets a pretty good run off the top. And that's something you can see, especially later in the run, that upper groove in 3 and 4 can really work.
It really can. It's just you're not having to try to wheel the car so much getting down to the bottom of the corner. You can just kind of let the car roll a little bit longer. And especially if you're racing somebody, you can pinch them down and just hold the momentum, which is absolutely crucial, especially off of a tight corner and just on older tires.
Older tires definitely make it tough, man. And, we got so many guys on different strategies right now. It's really the top, I'd say, 6 cars here. They're really in their own little bubble right now, kind of deal. They're doing their own thing. They pulled about a 2.6 second gap to Brock Potter there. Then you got Schrittenthal another couple seconds back. Then you got another couple seconds back to Andrew Little. So really kind of spaced out from sixth on back right now.
Yeah, they top 6 guys in a league of their own. Everybody else pretty single file, not incredibly close, within a couple tenths of each other. But nobody's really on anybody else's bumper, trying to really set up for passes too much. So I think if we're not going to get a caution until that the next stage caution, everything's looking pretty clean right now.
Yes, it is pretty clean looking so far. And man, I tell you what, it's just one of those races where this is nerve-wracking. You got a lot of strategies playing out, a lot of things that you don't know that are up in the air. I think Curtis Preston really just hit it right on the head with his statement of saying he really can't be comfortable. I mean, there's so many guys out there that could, get this win and steal it from him. And you got to think Curtis Preston was 2 points out coming into this race. He's doing everything he can to win it and get himself into that Final Four. But if something goes, wrong, and even if he gets these 20 bonus points, you could be out again.
Oh, absolutely. It's really, like we say every Tuesday for the RSR Cup Series, the real race doesn't seem to start until the end of the second stage when you have that really long stint to the checkered flag. That's where you kind of see all the pieces fall into place, and that's where you really learn where you're at compared to everybody else you're racing. So a lot of this we're not really going to know, who's got what until that second stage comes to an end.
Yeah, as we're on the front bumper cam here of Bob Fitzpatrick as he's getting around the cars of Nathan Campbell, Kevin Ruff there. So good job for GT to move himself up now into that third position. And here's the back bumper cam from Bob Fitzpatrick. You see Kevin Ruff. Look at this run here for the 112. Slice and dice to the bottom, but I think he's got a lap car in front of him, so this may not work out as actually lap cars up high, and as GT's will follow GT through as they lap the 17 of Kevin Zabludin.
Oh, a little bit of contact with the 17. Got into Nathan Campbell in the 52. Everybody keeps it going. Ooh, Bob Fitzpatrick getting in the back of the 112 from Kevin Ruff.
Yeah,
a little bit of a wiggle there. They're racing pretty hard for that 5th position, 4th position.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Patrick came into these playoffs leading the playoffs, and really just had unfortunate. I think he had to miss a few races and just led to his getting knocked out of the playoffs. So led the points coming up to the start of this season. So not the greatest playoffs for Bob Fitzpatrick, but this is something. If he can finish off these last 2 races pretty strong, that could give him some momentum going into the 2021 season, as that's not too far around the corner actually.
Yeah, he came into these playoffs showing that he was a contender for this championship. Unfortunate circumstances led him to be on the outside looking in, but he's showing that he's got the speed to be up here contending with these guys. He's been running up in the top 5 for a majority of this race, sitting in the 4th position right now, and even looking a little bit quicker than the guys in front.
It looks like Kevin Giadrasic, last week's winner, hit pit road at 9. Looks like he's the first taker onto pit road. See what he does. He said that he's the guy that always said, tire strategy last week. We'll see what type of tire strategy he's been pulling here.
Well, this looks like splitting the stage about in half. Maybe just trying to set himself up with some good track position here, but even track position on older tires, you're not going to have it for very long.
Yeah, do you see? I mean, you seen what happened with the what was it? The Matt Upbrook there. Sorry, I could not think. Sometimes you get a little brain fart, but the 16, he's already a lap down, but I think he's pitted also now too. So, but he stayed out, and you see how far you drop back, how quickly you get swamped.
Oh, absolutely, and a lot of these strategies, not taking tires, you're just banking on the fact you're going to have enough pace to keep yourself from going a lap down. Because if you fall a lap down and have to take the wave during the stage caution, It's pretty much going to put you in a hole that's almost impossible to dig yourself out of. Ooh, big moment for the leader, Curtis Preston, in the
Yeah,
29.
he's lapping Michael Martino, and Michael Martino's gonna take the red off the car there as he goes around the wall in the 75, putting himself a lap down. But yeah, good, could have been bad, but Curtis Preston did a good job of staying out of trouble right there.
And going back to Bob Fitzpatrick, we were talking about him a few minutes ago. He reeled in GT and just kind of gave GT a bump through the middle of 3 and 4. I think GT may have got a little bit scared about that and just waved him on by. So, I've got a lot more to lose right now than you do, so go ahead and take third. I don't need to run there right now.
Yeah, I think GT's in a position where he just needs to finish top 5 and get these top 5 bonus points too. He just needs to think about that, and I think he'll be in a pretty good position if he does that.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no need to get, taken out trying to fight for third position during the second stage when you almost assuredly have to finish this race out. You can't afford, even if you go out and, Curtis Preston wins the first 2 stages, I don't think that he can afford to get wrecked out and, maybe finish back in the mid-20s. He'd still end up losing out on his transfer position. So smart racing here by GT as he's fighting back on the inside now with Bob Fitzpatrick. Bob's looking a little bit on the tight side. He's had to lift coming out of turn 4 a couple times now the last few laps.
Yeah, and a little battle back here between these two, definitely heating up. You've seen Bob, like you said, give him a little bump past him. Now GT back by him. See if GT can pull away from that number 3 and set sail in that third position. I think pit stops should be happening pretty soon. I think you're going to see it around 65 to even as late as possible.
Well, as we touched on, we shouldn't see the 5 of Michael Sheffield down pit road. He's in what position is he in currently?
20th.
20th position. It's a decent gap. Times look a little bit evened out though. Running only about a tenth slower than the leader, so he's pretty much holding station. Not much to worry about. As talking about pit stops, the 59 and the 112, now the number 2, calling out. They're coming into pit road this time by.
Curtis Preston coming down too. Ooh, as Travis Everett almost makes the pass on the entry to pit road. Can we interested to see how far Michael Sheffield is ahead of these guys? Because I think Sheffield should be able to make it here in the
Sheffield is pitting, Zach.
Oh no, really? That's interesting. I would have thought maybe he could have stretched it. I mean, we've seen Richard Gonzalez stretch it 31 laps, but that's tough to do. It's a really tough strategy.
Maybe he realized that he wasn't going to be able to make it and just said, okay, well, rather than risk running out, I'm just going to cut my losses here. Who knows? It's hard to say from the press box up here.
Yeah, it just puts him in an interesting situation now. Not being able to get those points probably from staging also. As I believe he just took fuel. Yes, he did in the 5, and he'll be back out there. Looks like GT's still staying out. I think the strat is if you can push it as far as you possibly can, pit on, the lap or the lap before the stage, and then you can stay out during the stage caution.
I mean, you'll lose out a little bit on stage points, but gain a lot of track position. And as we pointed out, when the tires wear out, it's really hard to make a pass. So track position is definitely at a premium here, as we've got fan favorite Craig A. Burns down on pit road getting his service done.
Now, also, I gotta go back and look at this here, but I believe Travis Everett and Curtis Preston both just fuel only, as they came off nose to tail.
I'm trying to
just see what's playing out here, man. The GT still staying out here. We're becoming the complete lap number 68, and have 2 to go in this stage.
GT pitting this time by.
Yep, 2 to go. That's why I figured that'd be the number he'd hit, and I think Fitzpatrick you might see come down this time unless he can stretch it another lap. Nope, Fitzpatrick and GT both coming down, so you want top 1 and 2 coming down. And what does Matthew Rush do? He comes here to take 2 to go in this stage, and he'll take the lead. I think he'll lead a lap here. And that'll give him.
If he can make it, I mean, pit road is closed now, 2 laps before the end of the caution. But look at Randy Cornwell up to 3rd place, Matthew Rush up to 1st, leading the stage. Now Randy Cornwell up to 2nd place. If they can just hang on, really good
Yeah.
stage points and a great move by these guys. Way to rebound.
You know, Rush could have definitely did the top off strategy and save some fuel there at the beginning of this. As he's coming here to take white flag for stage number 2. I think he's going to be able to do it here, and this is going to shake things up really big because Curtis Preston, our old leader, is in the 15th and 16th position for him and Travis Everett. That's not stage points.
Wow. Yeah, Matthew Rush is lifting incredibly early.
Yeah, because he's got to make it back under caution here.
Yeah.
Coming out of turn number 4 here to end stage number 2. Matthew Rush is going to be your stage winner.
Yellow flag is out.
Yeah, you better shut that thing off because, man, he's going to have to be saving. Randy Cornwell is going to come home in the 3rd position. What a great call from them guys. And guess what? Nobody else. I don't even think Curtis Preston. No, he didn't. He did. Nobody else got stage points except for Rush and Cornwell, who were the guys who didn't get many stage points the first time.
Yeah, Cornwell missing out entirely on stage points last time. Matthew Rush adding up now to 11 stage points. Biggest net gain so far over the stages. The only driver to finish inside the top 10 for both stages. That's how you get it done if you're racing for points.
As maybe Preston here finished in the 8th position here. And Travis Everett, is Nolan Potter, I believe, is out of gas. He looks like he's getting some help in that 34. That's going to be a big issue for him as they're coming back to pit road.
A lot of guys trying to stretch it.
Yeah, and Rush had to come down pit road while the pit road was closed.
Ooh.
Well, he looks like Cornwell's going to make it back around. I don't know. Cornwell might be out of gas, actually. I don't know. Maybe not. Cornwell looks like he's got it under power. So, interesting stuff. But, yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Curtis Preston possibly finished in the 8th and Travis Everett in the 10th position. So, they possibly added to their bonus of, Curtis Preston there getting 3 while Travis Everett getting another 1. So, we got some interesting stuff playing out here at Kentucky. And after these guys get done pit stops, we'll talk with Matthew Rush, your stage number 2 winner. I tell you what, now Sheffield is in 27th a lap down.
Oh, no.
Trenthal 20th a lap down. Those two not in a great position. It looks like they'll get the wave, though, most likely here, as the other guys will have to pit.
Well, they pit at lap, Michael Sheffield lap 64, Zach Trenthal 64 as well. It's not awful that they have to take the wave. I mean, I would imagine that Sheffield's probably not going to want to take tires right now anyway, after taking tires so early. So it's not the worst thing for him. The only downside is that he can't come in this time by and top off, which means he's going to have to pit earlier than everybody else. So it's, again, he's in a hole that it's going to be really hard to dig himself out of.
Wow. Yeah, this is definitely interesting stuff playing out here tonight at the racetrack. But we'll get to talking here with your stage number 2 winner of Matthew Rush and get his thoughts on winning that stage there, Brandon, as I am trying to find Matthew. Am I blind? Let's see. Yeah, there he is. I knew he was in clutch. What am I doing? Here's move him down to the weight room, and he'll get talking with Brandon.
Hey, Matthew, it's Brandon up in the booth. How's it going, bud? Matthew, it's Brandon in the booth. Oh, okay, there you are. Well, pretty good, bud. Great strategy call for you to go ahead and pick up that stage win. How close were you on fuel?
About as close as you can get. I ran out after the caution came out.
we were looking at it and trying to figure out where guys were going to cycle around. I think yourself and the 18 of Randy Cornwell, you guys played it perfectly, just stretching the fuel long enough. We saw you got the 1 point just sneaking in the last stage, and then 10 points for that stage win. Got to be feeling pretty good as far as points go for making this round of 4 next week.
Yeah, I hope so. I got some work to do here in the last stage, but I do what I can to get work my way towards the front.
Well, we pointed out a bunch. Coming back through the field can be one of the most dangerous times. A lot of things can happen. So, good luck to you. Hopefully, you can get through there cleanly and make your way back to the front. And maybe we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
Guys, thank you.
All right, that was your stage number 2 winner here tonight. And man, it's tough positions to be in here early in this racetrack. And I tell you what, who gained a lot of track position out of that by making it to the end was Randy Cornwell. Now he'll be our leader still. So Randy Cornwell pulled the masterclass strategy. Like I said, the dude pulls some strats, man. But he pulled the right one tonight so far, and those 8 bonus points he got last time for that stage is going to be a huge help for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really hard to pull off strategies because it's so dependent on cautions and just hoping you don't get one a lot of times, especially when it's on fuel. These guys, especially Randy Cornwell, he just steams every week. He's pulling something out of a hat. I think I said it before. It's like before the race, he writes stuff down on a piece of paper and just kind of reaches in and then pulls something out and goes, "All right, we're gonna go with that." But a lot of times it just seems to work out, and sometimes racing you need a little bit of luck. Goes a long way.
It definitely could go a long way, my friend. It definitely can. It's getting down now. We're in the final stage. About to go back green here as we're lining up 2 by 2. It is go time if it ever was.
Hang on, we're not going
That's
green.
for sure. Oh, looks like we're having a delayed yellow here too. So see these guys go, and man, oh man, it's been a great race. But while we're under caution here, we get this delay, we might as well go head down to our sponsors here. Wonderful sponsors here at the Evolution Racing Leagues in the RSR Cup Series. As of course, as always, Sheffield Graphics, one of their wonderful sponsors here. They specialize in sim racing paint schemes as well as team logos and race posters. They do not charge for work. They only ask for donations to the Folds of Honor charity. So you can go find the link to donate directly to the charity on Sheffield Graphics Facebook page. And also, they're based out of Chesapeake, Virginia, owned by Michael Sheffield himself out there on the track, number 5, the driver himself. So shout out to Michael for his awesome Sheffield Graphics company. And they're a wonderful sponsor here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. Also got the primary series sponsor here is Or Nissan Central. Or Nissan Central is the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So make sure to go check out their website at www.ornissancentral.com. Also, a sponsor between both of our Freaky Fast and Evolution Racing Leagues is ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air like a traditional speaker, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful bass response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. Remember, ButtKicker, feel what you've been missing, and you can go check out their ButtKicker Gamer 2 at ButtKicker.com. So those are our sponsors here tonight for Freaky Fast Broadcasting and the Evolution Racing Leagues. We're lining back up double file as we have a little bit of a delay, but we're about to head back green flag racing with Randy Cornwell leading David Hall. So let's see how this all shakes out, guys. It should be one wild ride here down to the very end here of this 130 lap event.
Well, Zach, a bit of an iRacing scoring issue here from 7th place back. There's a handful of lap down cars separating the leaders.
Oh, and they're green. Whoa, what is going on here? Look at that lead that Randy Cornwell got. Nobody else went. There's definitely something interesting going on there. But look at the gap that Cornwell got. He's gone.
He didn't just catch him sleeping, he caught him in a coma. That was a huge jump.
I have no clue what happened there. I think a lot of confusion going on how the restart lined up there and some scoring issues. But, man, it is pretty crazy stuff here at the Kentucky Speedway at the moment.
Well, I tell you, Zach Trittenthal right now sitting in the 21st position, the lucky dog, he is hoping for some crazy stuff to happen here so he can get back on the lead lap. Yeah, it's unfortunate for him. He got kind of pinned there. And weird iRacing stuff. Lap down cars getting juggled in with the leaders. Adds to the excitement, I guess.
Adds to the excitement, I've heard. Yes, it does. We'll see how it all shakes out here, but it's definitely a wild way to start off that restart with the lap cars in between.
Looking at it, Zach. The 9 of Kevin Jadrosich in the 9th position right now. He is already 5 seconds behind leader of Randy Cornwell just from that jumbled up. He is just now going into 3 while Randy is coming out of turn 4.
Wow, that is that's pretty intense there, I must say. As you never want to lose too big of a gap, but at the same time, this track you can make it up. You really can.
Curtis Preston has already run down Randy Cornwell.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
What has Curtis Preston got in that thing?
He's talking about Jack Daniels. Pretty sure that car is running on straight alcohol at this point. He needs to go to the tech shed after the race.
Yeah, man, that thing is flying here. He's already back up to the lead. We're looking at Michael Sheffield now, though. I think Sheffield here in the 18th position now. He's going to need to come back from that unfortunate stage 2 right there.
Ooh. Looked like Randy Cornwell may have just got up into Curtis Preston a little bit. Maybe some netcode involved, but Curtis, great job of slowing down and keeping himself out of the fence. Only lost 1 position out of it.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. That was definitely some netcode in between those two right there. But as a driver, you never know when it's netcode sometimes.
Yeah, some guys you can race around knowing that occasionally they just seem to have a little bit more netcode than normal. But other guys, you can almost go to door one race rubbing fenders and putting donuts on the doors, but the next, there's like a foot between you where it just wants to shoot you off like a pinball bumper. It's pretty crazy.
And there goes Travis Everett to the point, trying to take the lead there from Randy Cornwell. Can he slide up in front? No, he doesn't. Ooh, as the 18 gets a good run off here, Cornwell needs to definitely perform in this final stages to tell you how close everything is. I was doing some math while we were under green here, and man, it's very close. The points is, wow, Cornwell and Everett racing hard for the lead up front. But at the moment, Travis Everett right now would be your top dog on points wise, as he is he's through this phase he's scored. It looks like he'll be 3 points ahead of Matthew Rush and Curtis Preston, who will be tied for second in that second and third position. Then in your 4th position, it would be GT, who is 4 points back. Then from there, you got Nolan Potter, who's 6 points back in the 5th position, and then there from there on back in 7th and 8th, or no, in 6th and 7th, it would be Randy Cornwell and Sheffield, who would be 7 out. And then Schrittenthal right now would be your 8th driver, as he is 8 points out from Travis Everett.
Well, Zach, what that tells me right now, based on where these guys are currently running, Randy Cornwell's going to have to win or have something catastrophic happen to, Travis, Curtis, or GT to point his way in.
Yeah, definitely will. I mean, Matthew Rush is the one that is right now the one that's got to make up the most ground, though. He's second, but the problem for him is he's 13th right now, 9 seconds back from the leader.
Well, the good news with Matthew Rush is he's currently sitting second, but he's got a lot more points that he can gain, as opposed to, GT or Curtis, Travis, Randy saying, he has to win. He's got a lot more room that he can gain currently to pick up those additional points.
Yeah, I mean, but with only the problem there with that is, with only having a 4-point gap over Randy Cornwell, he needs to be within 4 positions of him by the end of this race to be able to keep himself ahead of Randy or Nolan Potter even.
Yeah, he definitely has a lot of ground to make up. And going back to Randy Cornwell, They are not holding anything back up here in this front pack. Randy Cornwell gave Curtis Preston a little shot going into 3 there. It looked like maybe Curtis threw a block protecting the inside lane, and Randy wasn't appreciating it too much. If something like that happens to one of these front 4, and maybe there's a wreck and it takes out 1 or 2 of them, that opens up the door for some of these guys like Matthew Rush that's a bit farther back in the field.
Definitely opens up the door. Randy Cornwell definitely not out there really trying to make friends right now. He's trying to literally put himself in position to make this Final Four, as he knows he needs that to be in the shot of this championship. And I tell you what, that's this is the type of race that can make you definitely do stuff you never done before.
Yeah, definitely not trying to win any friends, but out here trying to win a championship. And sometimes you got to be a little bit cutthroat as he swings really wide into 3 and loses. Looks like he's going to lose 2 or 3 positions here. It's Zach Schrittenthal that's joined the party up at the front, saying, "Hey guys, I need to win this thing too."
Yeah, and really what I'm looking at right now, Brandon, is Nolan Potter right now. He's really of all the playoff guys, it looks the worst off for him as he's in 25th as he ran out of gas there coming down to the last stage, and he's 1 lap down and pretty far from Zach Schrittenthal, who is our in the lucky dog position right now. Schrittenthal is up here with the leaders racing,
trying to earn it back the hard way.
Yeah, that's it's gonna be tough for him. Schrittenthal right now is the farthest down from the stage points. He's literally 8 points out from back from Travis Everett. And really to that 4th position, he's a total of 4 points out. So, I mean, it's only 4 points. That's the crazy thing. So, but at the same time, he is multiple positions behind GT. So at the moment, GT is far ahead. And I tell you what, it's going to shake out pretty weird here as Cornwell's dropping back like a rock here. He's getting swamped by David Hall. Looks like he's got next is Chad Biesinger. Actually, in the few lap guys, I think that's Craig Burns there, who's a lap down. He's trying to fight his way up here to get back to that lucky dog position with Harold Watkins also.
Yeah, a lot of these guys struggling at this late point in the race. Just trying to, some guys get back on the lead lap. And unfortunately, I think Nolan Potter maybe had some damage that he's also trying to overcome. But unfortunately, looking like the one struggling the most, Michael Sheffield, running back in the 25th position right now. Not the best run from where he started. So he got a lot of ground for him.
Yeah, he actually pitted, so I'm kind of interested to see how it's going to play out for him, because I think all the other guys are just going to point stop to the end, while Sheffield's going to have to do another stop from here. So unless Sheffield catches a caution before he pits the next time to help him out, the strategy is kind of interesting.
Well, it's like we talked about, he wasn't able to pit. He had to take the wave around, so he was going to have to pit a little bit earlier than the rest of these guys. Kind of forced his hand a little bit. But it looks like I would imagine he got the full tank. If you're going to be in there that long, especially under green, you have to take tires. You cannot afford to not take tires and wait for a full fuel load.
Not wait, that's for sure. This is down to the critical moments of this race. And I tell you who's coming forward is Schrittenthal. He in that lap car. He's trying to do his best in that 2 machine to come up here and unlap himself the old-fashioned way.
Now, this is the question. How aggressive are you going to be if you're, GT Travis Everett or that 29 machine leading of Curtis Preston? How aggressive are you going to be trying to keep him a lap down, knowing how hard he's trying to push to get back to the lead lap? Do you worry? Do you put yourself in a position to potentially get wrecked out of say 3rd place, 2nd place, even the lead, just trying to keep this guy pinned the lap down?
I don't think you risk it. I think that right now you're running, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd for these guys that are looking pretty well in points right now. They're looking pretty well off from the positions that they're out first of all, and the points they scored in those stages. So they need to be definitely careful, but they can't give up too much either. As you see GT that is going to get passed by Schrittenthal, but he's also got Harold Watkins there, who's 2 laps down behind him. So it's this is a time of the race where you gotta say, all right, I'm not racing these guys. This will get me to Phoenix. I just need to stay focused here and finish 3rd.
Exactly. As much as you'd like to win, it's live to fight another day. It's cool winning. It's great winning. Everybody wants to win, but you're essentially winning in the long run, just putting yourself in the position to make it to the next race, to not worry about race wins, but winning a championship. Worry about winning next week. Just make it there this week.
As we look back here at the 13 of Tony Ludi. There, running in the 8th position. Great run for him tonight, starting from the 31st position. So good run up for him. Even David Hall started 28th and 5th. So a lot of good runs for the guys here tonight in this penultimate race here.
Yeah, taking advantage of a lot of guys getting trapped, lapped down, playing some good strategy. Not really strategy that's going to get you up and contend for the win, but just a whole heap load of track position, which if it comes down to a late race restart, you really want that track position to kind of maximize your potential to gain even more. If you're back, say 20th on the 10 laps to go on a restart, you're pretty limited on exactly how much you're going to be able to gain. Maybe get to a top 10, but restart the top 10, you got a really good shot at 5th or even just top 3.
Wow, we can just see there Nolan Potter on new tires blowing the 31, the 21's doors off. That just shows you the difference between new tires, how much faster you can go. Definitely, I tell you what, out here in Kentucky, the rubber matters because it makes a huge, huge difference. And now, Brandon, the thing is, lap 100 this time, 30 to go. We are in the pit window. When does our leader Travis Everett, when does our leader Kurt Preston, and our second place man Travis Everett say, it is time to come down and get my final set, because it's go time right now. And the thing is, if you come down now, as soon as the window opens, if a caution comes out, you're on your final set of tires. So you kind of dug your bet. I think these guys are going to try to stretch it as far as they can, just in case the caution comes out, so they can have some pretty fresh tires here if the caution wouldn't come.
I agree. If you're somebody that's got 2 sets left, you try the undercut. If you've only got 1 set, you run the thing bone just to have as little laps as possible that you're going to have to put on that very last set of tires that you have. And as you brought it up, almost on cue as always, 17 of Kevin Zabladell called out that he was pitting. And a couple more guys decide to call out that they're going to come down this time. It's going to drag everybody else down, except for guys that are absolutely dedicated to, hey, I cannot take tires now. It's my last stop. I got to run it down.
It's just going down to the critical moments, man. And Matthew Rush, the other driver that was looking pretty good points-wise, he is now 2 positions within Randy Cornwell. So that actually pushes him back into that 4th position in the playoffs, I believe. And that should, if he can continue what he's doing, he should be able to make up that hole he's in.
We have 29 and the 59 pitting this time. Kevin Zabladell, getting really loose.
Curtis
no.
This is Travis Everett tries to miss him. He almost wrecks. Woo! Man, oh man, Kevin Ruff comes in behind him too. I tell you what, I hope nobody was speeding there as really Travis Everett had to miss. And wow, yeah, because Kevin Zabladell there in front of him.
Oh, and he's still spinning. No.
Now is they're on pit road. They need to continue on. Actually, I don't know. They might not go lap down here. That it'll be interesting to see where GT comes. GT's coming out of 4. Does he lap Curtis Preston and Travis Everett? I think he will.
Oh no.
Yeah, Curtis Preston and Travis Everett are going to go a lap down, but they should be able to get the wave, hopefully, with a lot of guys pitting possible.
Well, Zach Schroeder should be getting the lucky dog here, but Travis Everett and Curtis Preston, they'll get the wave, but they'll be at the tail end.
That's your worst nightmare.
Oh no!
If it's in those points, sometimes you just got to roll through.
I completely agree.
I've been in this same situation before where I decided to pit like that and stick with the pit, hoping I'd be able to stay in front of the leader. With GT being that leader, he had about a 5-second lead. If it wouldn't have been GT, I think they would have been fine. But due to the fact that it was GT, they did not clear him, and they will have to take the wave around here, which they'll get the wave. But like you said, they're going to start at the tail end of the longest line due to that, and that is so tough to come from behind for that.
Well, the good news is that they just have fresh tires, full fuel. Not much of a disadvantage. Whereas some of the guys that are also taking the wave with them are not really going to be able to pit. And some of them already have, but they're going to be on slightly older tires. Um, so not a total loss, and they definitely have the speed to make it back through the field. But as we touched on before, getting back through the field is so dangerous, especially when you know you've got the speed. You're going to be a little bit more aggressive and make moves. Maybe you'd second guess if you were only uh, minimum a top 10 car, but you have the speed to go out and win this thing. And the time is running out. Frankly, they've got to get back to the lead. But the biggest winner, I'd say, out of this is probably Matthew Rush. Is he came out right behind Randy Cornwell with this caution, and is going to be look to be right on even par with him for this restart.
Wow, and what brought that caution out was Kevin Zabladil there going through the grass and just lost it once he got back onto the transition of the track. Unfortunate to see the first or Nissan Central caution, technically the third, but it's the first for a real yellow other than our 2-stage cautions. So, yeah, that caught out some guys right there, but don't put it past Curtis Preston and Travis Everett to come back from this, though. They've been so fast all night. You're also going to have probably Kevin Ruff. You're going to have a lot of guys probably taking the wave here trying to get back on that lead lap.
Yeah, and back to the caution, we saw as the leaders were coming in pit, it looked like the 17 just trying to give him a little bit more room. He had just come off pit road, I believe, and tires weren't quite up, had to hit the apron a little bit, just lost it. Did a great job saving the initial step out, dirt tracked it a little bit, great job not spinning out there, but that transition, it snaps the car so quickly, and just a little bit off on his steering input, it looked like, and unfortunate, as we mentioned before. The two leaders that decided to come down the pit. But as you said, I'm absolutely certain they're going to be back in this thing with the speed that they have.
Yeah, with 24 to go here, we'll probably be about 22 to go once we get green. Wow, it's an interesting position to be in. Look at Matthew Rush up in the third position. He's done very well to bring himself back into the picture. That actually worked out very well for him. Look at Ryan Ezell there running the fifth, 26th to the fifth. Scott Taylor, 27th to 6th. A lot of big movers. That caution helped. And Zach Strittenthal was also one smiling pretty big from that. As he's going to go up here and get a lot because with Travis Everett and Curtis Preston still in 8th and 9th with them taking the wave, they're not losing many points.
Well, Zach, as you touched on the top 6 right now, 3 of the drivers in the top 6 are net gain 21 positions so far this race, that being the 23 of Chad Bessinger, the 88 of Ryan Ezell, and the 24 of Scott Taylor. So huge gains for those guys.
Ooh, this is where your stomach starts to turn. Oh man, just I feel for Curtis Preston and Travis Everett because I know that feeling of coming down pit road right when that yellow waves. And you're just like, what do I do? And the only issue with if they would have just rolled through pit road, they would have definitely been able to pit the next time by with the other guys, and they would have been able to start with them. But the problem is now they take the wave, they're going to start near the back of the field, so that makes it kind of tough.
Yeah, it looks like they're cycling around, and they'll be only just behind Zach Strittenthal. So the first cars that are going to be taking the wave around here, they'll line up ahead of all the rest of them. So not actually that bad. They're still inside the top 10, all things considered. And then a lot of guys, it looked like everybody still had a set of tires left. So again, it's looking like it's back to par, unless some guys just took fuel and were out of tires. But I don't imagine a lot of these guys that are ahead of them, maybe 1 or 2 don't have tires and just took fuel.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's on pretty much the playing field now. It's pretty much a race just to the end now. So everybody out there, buckle up because it's about to get pretty crazy out here on the racetrack.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide.
Is Brandon? Oh man, we're gonna bring Robert out to sing next. It is 22 laps to go here at Kentucky as GT takes off, leading this race. Chad Bessinger there in second as he gets passed by Matthew Rush down into 1. So that pushed Matthew Rush up to the second position. Randy Cornwell now up to third. And I tell you what, Preston and them are pretty far back though, Brandon. They're behind all the lap cars.
Oh man, yeah, I'm having to scroll back here quite a while just to find them. Oh yeah, they are back in the hornet's nest here. Unfortunate for those guys.
Any issues for them happen, they could be very dangerous.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the guys ahead of them are too much slower. A few guys that are just a little bit off the pace, but even playing field for the most part. Now it's just trying to navigate it. Guys are being pretty dicey now. We don't have a lot of laps to go. 6 car, a bit off the pace. Somebody out of off the fence coming out of 4. Looked like the 16 in Matt Upbrook just got a little bit hot into 3 and 4. Checked up a little bit. Man, I'm almost holding my breath for these guys. I've been in this position quite a few times, as I'm sure you have, and stuff just kind of appears in front of you, and there's nowhere to go.
That there is, man, is right on board here with Curtis Preston trying to work his way through the field here. Still in that 10th position. There's Kevin Ruff who's got in front of him too, up to the 9th position. So they got to go here. We got literally Schrittenthal up there, Travis Everett. If Cornwell wins this race, that's going to be the most interesting part. If Cornwell wins, it shakes up a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, even Matthew Rush, if neither he or Randy Cornwell win, it just kind of takes away one of those guys that thought they were safe. Because at this point, it looks like they're 2 of the ones that are on the outside looking in. So I'm sure GT's probably feeling pretty good. He's most likely not going to get knocked out where he's running currently. But some of these other guys, they've got to go. There's not any time to lose. They can't risk, just trying to gain a good track position and have one of these other guys clear.
And the battle up front is hot as GT was able to get passed by Cornwell, who kind of dove it in a little bit too much, slowed the racetrack. That let Rush get to the bottom. I'll see if Cornwell can hold off Rush for this win.
We got Craig Burns joining the front here at 16th place. The lucky dog trying to race back and maybe get his lap back the hard way, or just hold station and try to hope for caution, I suppose.
Look at Ryan Ezell up to 4th. What a run for him tonight.
Yeah, up 22 positions and holding really strong. He's showing he's got plenty of speed in that 88. Just needed the track position to go with it. Making very good use of that right now.
Making very good use. Yes, he is, as we'll be coming here to 16 to go. Randy Cornwell leading. This is what shakes everything up. If Randy Cornwell wins this race, it may be Curtis Preston who is going home.
Big checkup out of Craig Burns. Caught the apron a little bit. Stacked up some guys behind him. They were 3 wide going into the corner, and some guys got a little bit nervous.
4 wide down in the 3. Schrittenthal making the pass, making it a very nice pass on David Hall. Schrittenthal needs to go up there and win this race. He knows that, I think.
Well, the bad news is that he's going to have to use up a lot of his tires just to catch these guys. He might not have enough left in the tank if he can catch them to really do much with them. Catching somebody's one thing, but passing them is a whole other.
Different game passing somebody for a win, that's for sure, my friend. As look at this, here's Travis Everett and Curtis Preston working their way through as they finally almost have gotten to the back of the lead lap cars.
They've made up a whole ton of ground from where they restarted and showing pretty good pace. Check the lap times last time by. Hung up a little bit behind some slower traffic, costing them time, but they're still only about a 10th off. And that being said, aggressive moves out of Travis Everett here. He's got to pass him immediately. He can't waste any time here.
What I'm interested in, look at that. 21 fighting hard on the door. That 59, the 59 trying to do everything he can, but when you got someone on the door like that, it is so hard to keep the car down low. Big thing I'm interested is 13 to go with Randy Cornwell leading. We've seen him fall off near the end of that last run, starting up front. Can he hang on to the long run speed here to be able to pull off this victory and put himself into the Final Four?
Well, looking right now, it looks like GT's the quickest of these 3 guys up front. Pushed Matthew Rush pretty hard into the corner here. I think GT wants to get Matthew Rush up there racing with Randy, and maybe something happens, opens the door for him, slows those 2 down, and he can take advantage.
Yeah, with 15 guys still in the lead lap. You know, and a lot of guys one lap down. If something happens to you here, you're out of it real quick. So
Absolutely.
you cannot get caught up in anything. So you got to do risk versus reward here.
It looks like GT's just, he saved a little bit. He seemed to roll 3 and 4 a lot better than Matthew Rush and Randy Cornwell. But yeah, like we said, Randy Cornwell, he kind of falls off late in the run, it looks like. And that's something I've noticed, that it's hard to do really with anybody. It's easy to pace yourself when you've got somebody in front of you to kind of gauge off of, but when you're in the lead and it's just you, it's really easy to lose focus of that pace you're trying to set yourself.
That's for sure. We got a 4-car breakaway. Ryan Uzelda says, I want to win a race here too, guys. So he's up to that 4th position. Look at this. Curtis Preston, Travis Everett making their way through. Man, it's such tight racing. They got by Scott Taylor now. That puts them into the 7th and 8th position now. And Schrittenthal not too far ahead, but they need to go up there and catch Chad. But it's only 10 to go. It's going to be tough, man. This is going to come down to the wire.
GT backing up the corner a lot. Matthew Rush dove it in there. GT got a really big run, had to check up. These guys are all over each other. GT makes a move to the inside. It's bumpy down there.
It is very bumpy and hard to keep the car down there in that bottom lane. But here, let's see, going down in the 1. Rush is going to let him go. GT with a pretty decent run out of 2. Can he get the run to the outside? Oh, Cornwell opening up the outside lane. I don't know about that one.
I don't think you want to give away the outside lane here, but GT rolling strong.
Right around the top. That's why you cannot open up that outside lane. I would give him the bottom all day.
Absolutely.
Just cannot open the outside lineup. You cannot turn when you're struggling a little bit. As Cornwell tries to throw it in there, but he's going to get a little bit of the apron. Here comes a run from Matthew Rush from behind. Cornwell seeing it slip from his grasp. Oh, what a block he threw on Rush. Rush crosses back over to the bottom. Let's see if Rush can pass here. Down into 3. Sends it in there. He's going to slide up the racetrack in front of the Cornwell.
This is aggressive racing from guys that understand exactly what is on the line for them in this race and where they need to finish. They need to get all they can get, especially Matthew Rush and Randy Cornwell right now. But unfortunately, it looks like it's their race, and GT Rosari's just kind of slowly creeping away from them.
Yeah, he is. Oh, Rush a little tight off of 2, but I think he's going to have the run going down the back straightaway. Here we go, down into 3. See if Rush can pull off that 18. Oh, he's a little bit high. I think that's going to let the 18 clear here. Cornwell trying to clear. Here's they come off of 2. Man, oh man, it's going to be so close between a lot of these guys, Brandon.
And GT again looks like the quickest car on the track last time by. Except for maybe Travis Everett ran just a couple hundreds quicker back in that, looks like 7th position, 8th position. Best thing that could have happened to them, Travis Everett and Curtis Preston, was seeing that GT took over the lead. That takes a lot of pressure off of them. Maybe they're not going to have to push quite as hard now, knowing, hey, now we can worry about where we need to finish and not the fact that we may get bumped out here by one of these guys winning.
I think they need to get at least into that 4th and 5th position. Not Everett, but really Curtis. Curtis needs to push. 5 to go. He needs to get a few positions. He's fighting Schrittenthal right now, 2. And if he doesn't get a few positions, it could be very close in the points because literally Randy Cornwell was only 4 points back from Curtis Preston. So it's go time right now if there ever was go time.
Well, the best thing I think for these two is that they're coming up on the 88 of Ryan Ezell. And Ryan, knowing that they're the playoff drivers, knowing what they're racing for, he's not racing for the same thing that they are right now. He's not going to give up much of a fight, just going to kind of let them on go.
Yeah, he's still fighting there hard. Always look. Oh, Curtis 88. Ooh, that was super close, guys. Is now Everett up into 5th. Curtis Preston up to 6th. But they need to get B Singer, I think, too. And also, GT almost made a little mistake. That let Cornwell close in a little bit this lap. It's going to be close, guys, as we come to 3 to go this time here at the RSR Cup Series. This is going to be for every bit of the playoffs. Your playoff drivers are now all in the top 5 positions. Ooh, I am telling you, this is close. Rush, I don't think Rush needs to make anything crazy happen here. I think Rush needs to just hold this position. I think he is pretty much good.
Very well might be. Definitely don't want to put yourself in a position. I mean, you've done as much as you can do. You won a stage. You're sitting here in the top 3 currently. don't risk wrecking and ruining third for second place. It's only 1 point. Now, 1 point can matter, but you stand to lose a whole lot more. You just don't want to let Travis Everett and Curtis Preston catch you right now. Don't get caught racing side by side and give up that time.
No, Brandon, if I can remember correctly, I think the way I'm pretty sure. Now my brain's starting to smoke a little bit from all these thoughts, but it's overloaded as we're about to take our Sheffield Graphics white flag. So this race is going to be official. No green white checkers. GT one final time. Can he bring home back-to-back wins here tonight at Kentucky? Oh man, what does Curtis Preston do? Does he try to get past Travis Everett here on the last lap? It is so close here tonight, guys. I literally don't know who's going to be your final four, but GT is for sure going to be one as they go down to 3 and 4. GT's got a pretty decent lead here. Matthew Rush not able to make anything happen on Cornwell. Curtis Preston can't happen on Travis Everett. And GT Irizarry is your race winner here tonight at Kentucky, going to Phoenix.
And he said he didn't feel very confident. He wasn't good here.
Right? Hey, look, he was calm, cool, and collected all night. Was pretty much a third-place car, in my opinion, all night. And he made it happen when he needed it most.
And that's championship driving right there. You come out and you show up when you need it the most.
And now I'm not sure about this. I'm trying to think how they do their bonus points and their points, Brandon. But it could possibly be even a tie for 4 between Curtis Preston and Cornwell.
Yeah, thinking about it, it comes down to a lot of how they do their bonus points for laps led, most laps led, pole position, even stuff like that can shake up a whole lot of it.
Wow, it was so close here tonight, man. And congrats to GT on pulling off the victory. We are not sure about how the points are all going to shake out, but we can for sure you that GT will be there in the playoffs next week as he is the winner here tonight. And we will take a quick moment here in a break to get our top 3 finishers down here and get a talk in with those gentlemen. All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, and we have our top 3 finishers. And the first man here bringing it home in third tonight is Matthew Rush. By my math, I believe Matthew has made it into the round. Don't take me for certain there, but we'll get talking with him and see what his thoughts are on tonight, as he did pretty much everything he could to make it to Phoenix next week. Hey, Matthew, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, Zach, go ahead.
Hey, man, well, tonight is, I think, from my math, I'm pretty sure you've made it. Don't, if you didn't, I'm sorry, but it's going to be so close between a lot of you guys here tonight. Bringing home that stage victory in stage 2, really, I think, if it turns out to be you making it, I think that was the critical moment. But how did the race shake out for you, man? I mean, I think that caution was pretty timely there to help you out there to get that your time back gained on those guys in front of you, and you were able to bring it home in third, man.
That stage win, second stage, just trying to drag that fuel out is going to be the key. I think I'm close on points. I'll have to wait till they get tallied up. I think I may have squeaked in there. And yeah, normally the cautions don't fall my way, but tonight they did.
Hey man, that's always a good thing when the cautions fall your way. It's always a nice thing. We take it from the racing gods. But I tell you what, Matthew, you did a great job tonight to stretch that fuel to make it there and get those bonus points. And I think that, like you said, I think that's going to be the key if you make it, which is going to be very, very close on points. If you have made it, what are your thoughts going into Phoenix? What's your goal, and how confident do you feel at that racetrack?
Yeah, when I saw the schedule, I was just hoping I could get there. I really liked Phoenix. I usually run pretty good there, so I'm fairly confident. Fast group, try to battle it out with though. But hopefully I can keep the luck going. Sometimes better to be lucky than good, right?
Hey, that's what we say for all the time. My partner in crime over here, Brandon Colley, says that more than once or twice a week for sure. It's better to be lucky and good. That's a fact in racing, man. But tell you what, you were also very good here tonight in the 11. So congrats on that third place finish. We're hoping for you. You made it, man. I'm pretty sure with my math, I believe you did. My math sometimes is wrong, unfortunately, but that's how math goes. But yeah, man, congrats on third. Anybody wants to send a shout out to you before we let you go and see what these points tally out to?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for the job you do. You guys do awesome in the booth there. Thank Ryan and the group and all the guys I race with, man. This is a top-notch league. I really love racing in it. Looking forward to Phoenix next week.
Awesome stuff, Matthew, man. Well, congrats again on third here tonight. Hopefully you made it in, buddy, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Hope you have a great night. That was Matthew Rush there in the third place position for Clutch Motorsports. I think he made it. I hate saying that because it's tough sometimes with the math and with the way bonus points and stuff work. But for my math, I believe he made it here tonight into the Final Four. We'll figure that all out here later and going into next week. But now we'll move on to Randy Cornwell, who is really, I think it's very close for him. He might even be tied. Like I said, my brain is smoking. My ears got smoke coming out of them right now from all the math. So we'll see what Randy Cornwell thinks about, coming up just a little bit short for this win, but he should be pretty close for points too. Hey, Randy, it's Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Hey, Randy. Well, man, I tell you what, heck of a race here tonight. We brought you. We were talking about you there at one point, and I said, your strategy, it really puts you in good position sometimes, and sometimes it hurts you. But your strategy might come back there in that stage 2 with those 8 bonus points to get you possibly in this Final Four. Is because the math I've done, it looks very close for that Final 4 spot. How was the race tonight, and did the strategy play out how you wanted it to?
Pretty much how I wanted it to. We didn't have the speed, so I had to try something. And I was still reeling from giving away I gave away the ARCA race earlier with a speeding penalty. So that strategy didn't work. So here I was thinking, don't do anything stupid to eliminate yourself. And if I didn't get in running second, that was all I could do.
Hey, it definitely was, man. Like I said, all the playoff drivers were up there all night getting stage points, doing the best they could. So really to bring it home in second, like you said, just lacking a little bit of speed there compared to probably GT there at the end. Was the goal? I know the goal was to get the win, of course, but what there at the end, was it kind of win or bust, or did you feel like you were pretty close on points? Because I know it's hard to tally it up as you're in the race.
Well, I messed the points in the first stage. The strategy short pit didn't work for me. I came back out and rotated exactly where I was, so it cycled through. And then the second stage, I got points. I had finished second or third. I was clutching it at the line. I think it wound up third. So I led a couple laps. I tried to get a point, and then I was going to one pit the end there and try to win the race and just let the cards fall where they may. But then the caution came out, and we had those guys trapped, and I figured throw the tires on and give it all you can. I took the lead, hoping for a yellow or something, to extend it, and then it was a shorter run to hold him off. I don't know if I could have held GT off in a short run, but that was my mindset, was get the lead quick, hope they wrecked, and 5 or 6 lap run, try to force him to go somewhere he didn't want to be.
Yeah, definitely. Well, man, you played everything you said you could here tonight. That's, you gave it your all, that's for sure. And we do go to Phoenix next week. I'm sure it's going to be close on points. We'll figure all that out here later as they tally it up. But how are your thoughts going into Phoenix? And if you are in the championship 4, what's the plan going into there?
Sail out to win the race, whatever strategy I think it'll take. that's what I'll try because I think that's what it's going to take to win it.
It definitely does. We see it a lot of times in these playoff formats, man. With the elimination, you got to win the race. You win it all. So I think whoever wins, definitely going to have to win it all, man. Congrats on your second place finish here tonight, Randy. It was a heck of a race. We had a blast calling it here. We're ready for next week to kick off for our championship. Anybody want to say a shout out to before I let you go?
Yeah, man, I appreciate everything you guys do for broadcasting it and putting it on. Appreciate Ryan and Sheffield and Scott and everybody behind the league. Big Bubba's Chicken for helping me out on the car, and just all the other competitors. Without the fairly clean racing that we have in here, the league wouldn't be as much fun to run.
Awesome stuff, Randy. Well, man, congrats on second, and we will catch you next week at Phoenix.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
All right, that was Randy Cornwell there. It should be pretty close for that number 18 machine here at the Kentucky Speedway as we go on the Phoenix. But now we got our race winner who brought it back-to-back tonight, I must say. Winning in Michigan, the ARCA Series, and coming out here in the Cup Series. Not having probably the fastest car, but was the fastest man at the right moment. So let's see what GT's got to say about this race win and going to Phoenix with a chance to win the championship. Hey, GT, it's Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
You're damn right I do, brother.
Yeah, that's right, man. Well, we can say, all the other guys, we were calculating points and trying to figure it out. It's close for them, but we can say you're going to Phoenix, man. How does that feel?
You have no, maybe you do, dude. I'm ecstatic, man. I mean, we talked a little while ago at the ARCA race, which I got to bring up a point there. I was bragging on my sponsor on my car, but then realizing you guys can't see the car, so it didn't make any sense to what the hell I was talking about. And I was like, whatever. It is what it is. So, man, dude, I got done and I went and did what I do and took a big old shot of Jack Daniels. I mean, I was just like, God, dude, the pressure. I mean, hell, this is more important to me than actually winning the damn championship.
It is, man. This was a pressure cooker race. It was all night, guys doing different strategies, getting different stage points. I mean, it was so close. Like I've done the math, and I don't know who actually came out with my math. I'm pretty sure the 3, but the last 4 spot is just so close. It might even be a tie, possibly. I don't know yet, but we'll have to see how they tally it up. But we know you won it. Man, going into Phoenix next week, how confident are you in Phoenix, first of all, and what's the do you think you need to win the race? Because most of the time in these elimination style races like this, you gotta win to get that championship.
I think that's the mentality that you got to have. I mean, seriously, and I know I told you before that we weren't looking forward to this track. I mean, it's not one of my favorite tracks. I mean, so to pull this off is just like, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm kind of blown away. Phoenix is is also not one of our favorite tracks. I mean, I can hold my own, but I just need the luck that I got right now. I was telling my teammate Curtis, which I'm hoping that he made it in. I know it's close with him, but I was like, man, the fuel mileage won me that race. I mean, because I stayed out and then the yellow flew. But it's weird. Seriously, man, I'm going down pit road under that yellow, and I'm thinking, do I not take these tires? The yellow's going to come out again. Do I take tires? Do I not take tires? And it wasn't until I got almost to the pit stall, I clicked them on, and I was like, all right, well, here we go. And I knew for sure that damn yellow was going to fly with about 15 to go, and other people were going to have tires, and we were going to be eaten alive. So anyways, I started off on took off on the green, got a good jump, and I knew that Cornwell wanted that win, the 18. I knew he wanted it bad, so I just kind of moved up, let him in the 11 just race it out, and I just stayed behind him. And I was lifting early, and my mentality was, I'm going to save what I can because I knew that yellow was going to come out. So, and then once we got about 8 to go, I was like, all right, whatever, dude, let's just roll. And I got up underneath him, and believe it or not, Randy gave me the outside going into 3. I was shocked at that, and after that, I didn't look back from there, man. That was it. That was a wrap.
Hey, man, that was so fun to watch from us up in the booth. It was nerve-wracking. I felt the nerves myself as being a fellow driver and being in those situations. That is the pressure cooker of all races right there for sure. But I tell you what, you learned a lot from tonight. Like you said, this isn't your best track, but look what you did tonight, so maybe you can carry that on to Phoenix next week. We could be talking with you about your championship. So this, I think, is a great way to build towards that, man. So congrats on the win, first of all. We had a blast calling it. But anybody wants to send a shout to before this, we end this all, because that was one hell of a race for you.
I got to hit on one thing that you just said, that you always learn. And I got to say that I got behind Bob. He kept, putting the pressure on me in 3 and 4. And so I finally just let him go. And I watched him going into 3 and learn something. So I started applying that, and to me it worked out. I think is where it worked out a little bit better for me on that was I was staying out of the gas longer than he was. So I was allowing the car to turn, which wasn't so hard on the tires. But back to your damn question. Who do I want to thank? Number one, I want to thank y'all. Got to thank Ryan and Scott, for putting this on for us. I mean, this is I say it every time you talk to me, man. I got to thank the guys on the track. I mean, they're so respectful and so clean. You can't find a better league anywhere. And I definitely got to thank my teammates. And I'm hoping that Curtis got through. I think Travis isn't on our team yet. Travis is actually joining our team next season. But I'm pretty sure he got through. So I'm hoping Curtis got through there. I got to thank them. And man, dude, I ain't gonna lie. My wife went and closed the bedroom door because she heard me in here talking. So she's like, I'm done with you. So whatever, man. Hey, I hope I get to talk to you guys next week too.
Hey, man. So, the points are up, actually. So, okay.
Yes.
T. Travis, Curtis, and Matthew Rush. So that is it. Those are your
There
final
you
four.
go.
Your team,
Hey,
man.
Yeah, that's
There
the
you
slide job racing right there. And like I said, Travis will be joining the team next season. So there you go, man. Appreciate that.
Awesome stuff. Well, congrats to your team, man. And we will catch you next week at Phoenix. It's going to be exciting. We can't wait for it. The build-up is going to be awesome. But again, congrats on the victory night. Celebrate it a little bit, but get ready for next week.
10-4, brother. I appreciate you guys again, man. Y'all have a good night.
GT. All right, that was GT, your race winner. And as you heard there, we have our top 4 is GT, Curtis Preston, Travis Everett, and Matthew Rush. Matthew Rush making it by 3 points over Randy Cornwell. 3 points, ladies and gentlemen. That just shows you down to the very end how close things come out in these races like this. That was awesome. I'm like mind blown how the night went. It was very fun to call. That one felt like a flash. That was a long race, but it felt like a blur. So can't wait to go back and watch this. Thank you all for tuning in. But we got our race results now. GT Irizarry here bringing home the victory for Slide Job Racing, followed by Randy Corwell just coming up 3 points short for that final 4, unfortunately. Matthew Rush there in the 3rd position at 11. He's going to Phoenix. Travis Everett in 4th and at 59. He's going to Phoenix. In 5th place, Curtis Preston in 29 going to Phoenix also. So there you go. You had 4 of your top 4 in the top 5. That is amazing to see. So it's going to be a heck of a battle next week. Don't miss that. 6th there goes to Chad B. Singer. 7th, Zach Schrittenthal. 8th is Ryan E. Zale. 9th, Bob Fitzpatrick. 10th, Dustin Stallings. 11th goes to Tony Ludi. 12th, Scott Taylor. 13th, Kevin Ruff. 14th will go to Craig A. Burns. 15th is Michael Sheffield. 16th, Robert Nestor. 17th, Andrew Little. 18th, David Hall. 19th is Casey Coots. 20th is Adam Buzzio. 21st, Junior Miller. 22nd is Kevin Zabladil. 23rd will be Kevin Giadricic. 24th, Richard Gonzalez. 25th, Brock Potter. 26th, Mark Andre Thibodeau. 27th, Harold Watkins. 28th, Nolan Potter. 29th, Nathan Campbell. 30th is Matt Upbrook. 31st will go to Kevin Sabilla. And 32nd, rounding out your field here tonight, is Michael Martino. And what a race we had here. 130 laps at Kentucky was one of the funnest races I've ever called and one of the closest playoff battles I've ever seen in iRacing. So congrats to the Final Four. And also congrats to all the playoff drivers who made it throughout this season and all the drivers out there on the track. It was a blast to call. I had a great time and can't wait to get to Phoenix next week. What is your thoughts, Brandon? And what do we expect to see next week?
Well, thoughts for this race, Zach, that's typical playoff racing right there. Every point matters. Everybody knows every point matters. You get aggressive racing, strategy calls to shake everything up, and then a caution that just kind of throws a wrench in all of it and just adds to the excitement. A nail biter for sure, and it just makes it entertaining to call and hopefully even more entertaining to watch. As far as next week goes, Man, I don't know what to expect. Phoenix is a tough track, and tires matter there far more than they did tonight. So we're going to see a lot of tire strategy. I can't wait. It's going to be a nail biter for sure.
That it is going to be a nail biter. These guys ain't going to have no fingernails leading up to Phoenix. That's for sure, because it's going to be one of those races. You thought tonight was nervous. You're going to be very nervous going in tomorrow night, and you're just going to give it your all. So we're going to have a fun time with that, guys. On a more serious note, shout out to Daniel Gonzalez out there. Remember to go check out his GoFundMe down in the link in the description to help him out, because what a wonderful guy, and we want to see him definitely prosper in this time of need. So thank you for being there on the racetrack, and we will definitely be with you as you fight through your battle, buddy. So congrats to everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's send it down to the boss man, Robert Moore, as he closes it all out.
That is right. Well, congratulations again to the Final Four going into Phoenix next week. GT, Travis, Curtis, and Matt Rush. Man, what a hell of a battle we had here tonight, guys, man. It was fun. Everybody out there on Facebook and YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe and hit that follow button. They're on Freaky Fast on both sides, so you don't miss any of the action through the week, and especially the action going into the final race to crown a champion here at RSR Racing League. But until then, we will be live tomorrow at 7:50 as we are with SRU in the Truck Series as they take on Michigan for 100 laps. But until then, everybody have a great night. We'll catch you in the next broadcast. God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
See you guys later.
Bye.